I had no idea I could sign letters denouncing my old job. I will sign up for that. I would, woo boy. My signature's free and clear. I get a lot of spam. That is a message I would love to. Hey, you want to sign on to this letter calling out your old job? Hell yeah, I do. Oh, I didn't work there, but I still signed that. Shout out to all of the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and I'm troubled. Now, here I am minding my own business, trying to help Travis Kelce read through this prenup, when I see this. FEMA workers warn agency at risk of Hurricane Katrina type failures. More than 180 current and former Federal Emergency Management Agency employees, most signing anonymously, sent a sharply worded letter to Congress on Monday, warning that the Trump administration's sweeping overhaul is gutting the disaster relief agency's authority and capabilities, undoing 2 decades of progress since the failures of Hurricane Katrina. Titled Katrina Declaration, the letter accuses President Donald Trump and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, whose department oversees FEMA, of eroding the agency's response capabilities and appointing unqualified leadership. The group calls for FEMA to be shielded from political interference and for its workforce to be protected from politically motivated firings. Now, that is a whole lot. And I know that there are those of you that are well ahead of the game when it comes to processing all of this. Again, we are back to school. So, due to the cuts to the Department of Education, and certainly that wasn't politically motivated, due to the cuts to the Department of Education, we have to take on more students than usual. So I actually have to work with 2 classes in one. So I'm going to deal with those of you that haven't fully understood it yet. We'll call you guys MAGAs. So let's address the part where they say that they want the agency to be shielded from political interference. Political interference. Now, is Donald Trump the kind of man who has interfered politically in the affairs of FEMA in the past? Because that's a pretty nasty allegation now, isn't it?
And yet they're offering people $750
for immediate needs.
For the worst, but for the worst hurricane that anybody's seen. But she shouldn't be there anyway. She should be, I would say, North Carolina is bad, is so bad. And
she was there today for 3 hours, I believe, Kamala Harris.
Laura Ingraham was the voice of reason. Laura Ingraham hasn't been the voice of reason since she left her home because she's there by herself. Anytime she's interacting with anybody else, she is not the voice of reason. But she was with Trump. He steered people so wrong during the storms last year, had people refusing to accept help, even in dire straits. Yeah, I'm talking about that dude in North Carolina.
My father-in-law lives just outside of Asheville, North Carolina, and he was badly damaged by Hurricane Helene. And he has refused all FEMA help because he's a hardcore Trumper. And he literally believes that if he accepts anything from FEMA, they're going to take his house. I don't understand how so many people are under the spell of this freaking con man. I don't understand it.
Well, it's absolutely heartbreaking about your father-in-law. I'm so sorry to hear it. I hope. Man, it's hard. It's hard to even imagine it. I mean, he lost almost everything, and he's refusing all help from the federal government and complaining to us that he doesn't have food, that he doesn't have the stuff he needs, and yet he won't accept the help. What the hell are we supposed to do? We're not in a position to be able to fly across the country and help him. Yeah. There's people begging us to get him to accept help, and he won't do it. Wow.
And I guarantee you, I'm not the only one. I guarantee you, I'm not the only one.
I wish there was something I could say as to, I don't know. Does he have access to any electronics where you could send him some information debunking this, and that he might?
We've done all of that. We've done all of that. We've sent him all the FEMA bulletins. We've sent him all the stuff from the fact checkers. He doesn't believe it. He thinks it's all. He just believes Trump. Literally, Dan. It's a cult. He's a cult member. I'm sorry to say it. He's a cult member. And he's my father-in-law, and it sucks.
So we have the kind of man that is willing to score political points and have his own supporters suffer in order to show their allegiance to him. That is pretty damning. I would say that is pretty damning. I wish he would just be honest and just tell people that he literally just wanted their vote.
We need every voter. I don't care about you. I just want your vote. I don't care.
Well, he just said that to get elected. Once he's in office, then he gonna do the right thing and he gonna turn moral. Like, I don't think it's been no divorces or new baby mamas from him since he's been in office. So, Well, if we're honest, it hasn't been 9 months yet. So we can't say that with any actual clarity, but let's see what he has politicized since he's been in office. He spent his entire week this week threatening Democrat-led cities with sending in federal forces and National Guard from other states like he's doing to Washington, D.C., despite what their own crime numbers say. And no doubt, so they can get some content that they could blast across Fox News to perpetrate the criminality of blacks. That's just this week. And this is what I call a full circle moment, because I mentioned that he was sending in National Guard from other places. Do you know where he got some National Guard from to send into D.C.? That's right, Louisiana, who's in hurricane season.
Now, Jeff Pick-Me Landry has sent 135 Louisiana National Guard soldiers to D.C. to address crime. But let me show you what his state ranks in crime. Old Jeff here ranks number 50 in crime and number 50 in the economy, but he got 135 soldiers to send to D.C. to help them address crime. What makes this a dumb and dumber decision is that this is the middle of hurricane season. We're less than 2 weeks away from the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, and we got a governor that can spare 135 National Guard soldiers when you don't know what the conditions of the weather's going to be, because we've got a National Weather Service that's understaffed, and we've got a president who's now not sending reimbursements to states from FEMA when they've had natural disasters, like in North Carolina, where they're not getting their funds back, and the same with Maryland. So if you want to trust a guy like that to be your governor rather than recognizing that he's just a pick-me, understand that pick-me's are only looking out for the person that they're looking to pick them. And it ain't you. It's the MAGA movement. And it's screwing over regular everyday people every single day. Pay attention. While Jeff plays around with a 50th ranking in crime in the economy, he got 135 soldiers to send somewhere else to deal with somebody else's issues when he can't even fix the issues in his own backyard. Old folks used to say, sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine.
And let's also address the part where after FEMA had to deal with all of the misinformation that was being blasted from the right wing to their own people that were dealing with natural disasters, right? After all of that, we had to sit through congressional hearings where they scapegoated some members of FEMA for not wanting to go into areas where they were actively being threatened.
A long day on Capitol Hill for FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell.
House Republicans grilled her during two House hearings focused on the agency's response to victims of Hurricanes Helene and Milton, and about a now fired FEMA employee that told workers not to help homes that were displaying Trump signs.
Fox News correspondent Mark Meredith has the story.
FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell told Congress her agency and its employees are working around the clock to help Americans recovering from Hurricanes Helene and Milton. But at two House hearings, Republican lawmakers demanded she address what some say has been a lackluster response to the storms.
Meanwhile,
was it a particular
campaign that you were feeling that way towards, or was just the idea of the times that you were in at the times of the relief being requested?
Again, before I was even deployed to Florida, there are accounts of Trump supporters being very passionate about their political stance. And unfortunately, that led to them saying they would either do bodily harm to FEMA workers or they would do take threatening actions towards FEMA workers. And that was the trend, not just in Florida, but you'll see that in North Carolina as well and Georgia.
And it's to that point I have to ask, if you know that you have people that are threatening members of FEMA, what exactly is the protocol? Are they supposed to duct tape the man of the house, subdue and duct tape the man of the house, and force these benefits on the rest of the family? How exactly does that work when they're actively being threatened? But far be it for some of us to accept any level of accountability for their own actions. That's, put your hand down, MAGA. Yeah, I'm talking about you. You were right to put your hand up, but it's not time to talk. It says the letter accuses Donald Trump and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem of eroding the agency's response capabilities and appointing unqualified leadership. Well, I have a question for the class. Is the current leadership of FEMA a part of this administration? It is? Well, then it would naturally be unqualified now, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would be technically unqualified by virtue of being a part of this administration. But if we want to deal in specifics, Kristi Noem, who is mostly known for not being able to tell the truth, even when they have her dead to rights about something that doesn't even matter.
No, what I said is that when this was pointed out, that we made an adjustment to what the content was in the book. I've met many world leaders around the world. I've been to the DMZ. I've been traveling for years and years talking to world leaders. Just that name should not be in the book, and I'm not going to discuss those personal meetings.
Well, that may be true about Kristi Noem when it came to meeting world leaders, but I don't really think she would take that kind of cavalier attitude when life is at stake. Any life. Say what now?
She attacked me, and it was a hard decision.
The South Dakota governor tells Sean Hannity she had to put her dog Cricket down after the animal ate the neighbor's chickens and tried to bite her.
And I had a choice between keeping my small children and other people safe or a dangerous animal, and I chose the safety of my children.
So if we're scoring from home, this was a letter that was written by 180 current and former members of a disaster relief agency headed by somebody who the whole world knows they can't trust, who works for a man who would politicize the thing on his head if he could. The warning comes as the nation marks 20 years since Katrina devastated the Gulf Coast, killing nearly 1,400 people, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. The botched FEMA effort exposed fatal flaws in the federal emergency response system, failures that led Congress to pass sweeping reforms, including the Post-Katrina Emergency Management Reform Act, which should strengthen FEMA's independence and set higher standards for its leaders. Now the letter argues those reforms are being unraveled as the Trump administration moves to either abolish or drastically shrink FEMA's role. Now, wait a minute. Something rang a bell. You're talking about shrinking FEMA's role. You're talking about federal cuts to our disaster relief. Didn't we just deal with a circumstance like this with the floods down in Texas? We did now, didn't we? And that was under this administration.
With the search for the missing reaching an end, Kerr County, Texas begins digging out, hauling away debris, and memorializing lives lost, all while waiting for answers to mounting questions about the staggering level of loss here and whether those in power could have done more to keep people out of harm's way. The sudden swelling of the Guadalupe River to raging levels caught so many by surprise. We now know Kerr County was never able to build a modern flood warning system with water gauges and sirens that officials here long knew they needed.
In fact, class, if you would really like a trivia answer for later on in life, here's a little fun tidbit. So the whole Epstein thing, which caused Congress to be out of session when they sent this letter, it caused a whole level 5 catastrophe over at the White House. That started to distract people from the mishandling of the floods in Texas. It all kind of, it's like when you do dirt, you put it out into the world and it comes back around as a birthday letter. Now, I just want to point to something very specific in the letter. It calls for its workforce to be protected from politically motivated firings. It called for its workforce to be protected from politically motivated firings. Now,
if you don't want to play that way, don't play that way. Break.
How do you think the Trump administration would react to a letter pointing to issues in their disaster relief agency that could cause catastrophic failures moving forward in helping the American people, and wanting to stay nonpartisan and be protected against politically motivated firings? Now, I know how a normal, sane, sensible person might react to that. How do you think the Trump administration would react to that? FEMA workers put on leave after signing letter warning of Trump's overhaul of the agency. The Federal Emergency Management Agency on Tuesday placed several employees on administrative leave, effective immediately, just one day after they signed an open letter warning Congress that the Trump administration's sweeping overhaul of the agency could lead to catastrophic failures in disaster response. Of the more than 180 current and former FEMA staffers who signed the letter, most did so anonymously. Only 36 signed publicly, though it's unclear how many were still employed when the letter was released. Now, let's start here. I had no idea I could sign letters denouncing my old job. I will sign up for that. I would, woo boy. My signature's free and clear. I get a lot of spam. That is a message I would love to. Hey, you want to sign on to this letter calling out your old job? Hell yeah, I do. Oh, I didn't work there, but I still sign that.
Stop it. Get some help.
Now, MAGA, what part of this makes FEMA stronger? What part of this makes FEMA more able and active to respond to disasters? I mean, I could ask the same thing about Jeff Landry's National Guard members walking the mall in D.C. picking up trash. I could ask that too. But what part of this is helpful to FEMA's aims? And the second part I would like to ask is if your response to being criticized for making the agency partisan and feeling like people might be attacked for speaking out and pointing to the issues that exist in the agency, if your response is to place them on administrative leave, that would make them correct now, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would. That would pretty much make them correct. And here's a crazy thing, MAGA. See, in the before times, you would at least wait some time. You know what I mean? You might take the names down, but you would at least wait some time because of how obviously guilty this makes you look of the very thing of which you've been accused. But not now. Oh my gosh. I guess they feel like sleep is the great eraser. They just one sleep and it's all just wiped away. Among them was Virginia Case, a supervisory management and program analyst who told CNN she received notice Tuesday evening that she'd been placed on paid leave. I'm disappointed but not surprised, Case said, adding that she was aware of at least 6 other FEMA workers who received similar emails. I'm also proud of those of us who stood up, regardless of what it might mean for our jobs. The public deserves to know what's happening because lives and communities will suffer if this continues. Workers who are placed on leave will conduct no business, visit no FEMA DHS facility, and contact no FEMA DHS personnel, according to an email to FEMA employees reviewed by CNN. Employees were also ordered to share their personal email addresses because access to their FEMA DHS accounts had been suspended. The move echoes actions taken this summer when the Trump administration suspended roughly 140 employees from the Environmental Protection Agency days after they signed a public letter raising concerns about the treatment of federal workers and the Trump administration's regulation on climate and public health. Now, here we have 2 separate breeds of people. We have the people that sounded the alarm, regardless of what the ramifications may be for themselves, because they took their jobs and their accountability to the people seriously.
At this West Virginia dining room table, we found former NIOSH employees now mounting a last-minute pressure campaign to save their agency. And they say the lives of the miners it protects.
If there was a miner sitting here, what would you say to them about what this is going to look like for them going forward?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for them. I'm sorry for their families.
Not unlike what we saw with the miners as well. We saw the exact same thing with the miners in a previous video that I made. And then we have the kinds of people that are willing to subject even their own supporters of pain, anguish, and potentially even death to score political points. And guess which breed we elevate? Guess which breed we empower in America 2025?
Man, this some more bullshit.
Now, here's where it gets really crazy, because we're talking about politically motivated firings. And I literally just did a video about Lisa Cook at the Fed. I literally just recorded that video yesterday about pressing Jerome Powell to change the interest rates, and magically they come up with a mortgage case on Lisa Cook that ain't even as bad as the one on King Paxton that magically just sitting on their desk. Trump said he's removing Fed Governor Lisa Cook, citing his administration's allegations of mortgage fraud. Cook, the first Black woman to serve on the Fed's board, said Trump has no authority to fire her, and her lawyer said that it would file a lawsuit challenging this illegal action. Now, MAGA, this might be hard for you to believe if I told you this, in time. So I'm going to tell you now so you know. This may be really hard for you to believe. But you know what's crazy is while I was researching this story about workers with FEMA accusing the administration of politicizing their agency and their fear of retribution from this administration. While I was doing this, do you know what was in the margin? No lie. This literally was what was in the margin because it happened the same day. Trump threatens Chris Christie and ABC News after watching critical This Week interview. President Donald Trump on Sunday threatened to investigate Chris Christie over a decades-old political scandal and revoke ABC News' broadcasting license after the Disney-owned network aired an interview in which the former governor sharply criticized the president. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's who y'all put in charge. That's who y'all put in charge. We had a whole debate about free speech and flag burning for him to threaten ABC's news license because their interview hurt his feelings. Mm-hmm. That is a thing that happened. The exact same time as the FEMA workers are accusing, like, this is going to look so bad in time. Honestly, this going to look so bad. But I can tell you this, y'all won't be the only ones looking bad. No, because you had help. Chris refused to take responsibility for these criminal acts, Trump added. For the sake of justice, perhaps we should start looking at the very serious situation again. No one is above the law. The president's social media post also mocked this week's host, Jonathan Karl's physical appearance and the show's bad ratings in order to crack a joke about the network being forced to pay me $16 million to settle Trump's defamation suit. I just watched sloppy Chris Christie be interviewed on ABC's This Week, the president posted. He accused Christie, the former Trump ally, of lying about the dangerous and deadly closure of the George Washington Bridge in order to stay out of prison, referring to the 2013 Bridgegate scandal in which several Christie aides and allies colluded to create traffic jams on the bridge to punish a local Democratic mayor. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop us right here. Trump, why are you putting that image of Chris Christie on the beach back in my head? You have made this year so difficult in so many ways. At least I have respite when I go to sleep. Not tonight. Not tonight. It's just going to be Chris Christie walking back and forth on the beach in my dreams.
Governor of the state of New Jersey, Chris Christie, that's him there in the black cap and shorts, enjoying a holiday weekend on the beach with family and friends. So why are these photos causing such a furor? Because while the governor can soak up the rays and feel the sand under his toes on a state beach, nobody else can.
The president's post also mocked This Week host Jonathan Karl's physical appearance and the show's bad ratings in order to crack a joke about the network being forced to pay me $16 million to settle Trump's defamation suit last year. And sure enough, ABC News settles defamation suit with Trump for $15 million. I guess maybe he added $1 million for interest. What was the settlement for? What was the settlement for? You went and settled that suit, not unlike CBS and Paramount. And Lord knows I was on their neck with that whole Colbert thing, right? You went and settled that whole defamation suit just for him to turn around and threaten to revoke your license because he didn't like one interview that one journalist did one night. Congratulations. Congratulations. What was it for? Y'all didn't just see what happened with Rupert Murdoch and them, all that money they had to pay for Dominion to try and push the big lie. And now he's suing them because he's mad that they found Epstein's birthday card. Like, I don't understand what part of Pick Me don't you understand? Like, I don't, it's baffling to me how people are moving in 2025. It really is. It's really given like Target deciding that they want to capitulate after there was the right wing outrage at DEI and prior to that, the Pride collection. Like, what did you think? You thought they were just going to flood into your stores? If you don't have no stars in bars gear, it ain't for them. Like, I don't understand what you thought was going to happen. Huh? Cracker Barrel. They put Uncle Herschel back? Who's Uncle Herschel?
Just let Cracker Barrel be Cracker Barrel. Bring back Uncle Herschel.
Oh, that's Byron Donalds. That's Byron Donalds' kin. Yeah, but they put Byron Donalds' Uncle Herschel back on it? Oh, okay. Well, he gonna have a little pep on his step. Yeah. Yeah, he gonna be a little extra dark in the front. Okay, all right. I'll be on the lookout for that.
You are saved, and I love the biscuits.
But just so I'm clear, when people sound the alarm that we are in danger because of the political games being played on Capitol Hill, and the response is to double down on said political games, then that just puts us in much further danger than even they described. And that danger applies to all of us, because I have never known a natural disaster to respect a red hat or a Confederate flag. If anything, they love it. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and to all of you guys that have reached out to me at admin@reesewaters.com. I'm constantly getting feedback like this from Aaron that says, "Hey Reese, I love your show and have just subscribed. I just have one question for you, and please don't think I'm coming for you. And full disclosure, I did take a gummy." Well, where this about to go? I think I just took a gummy is the new version of I don't mean no offense. Question, on the Vivek Ramaswamy anti-black show, why is your mustache sitting so far from your lip?
Damn!
This is egregious work. This is nasty, egregious work.
I take offense. I think I take offense. I think that must have been the gummy. That must have been. Now, yeah, let me just keep reading. How is it that I can help the channel? Well, one way you can help the channel is what you've already done, subscribing to the channel. Another way is by joining as a member. There are links in the description box to all of the videos to membership. You'll also find the links to my Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, the link to merchandise, which is over at reesewaters.com. You could also join the Patreon at patreon.com/reesewaters, where you can get access to the newsletter. But one small but very significant way that you can help the channel is just by liking the video. Liking the video helps boost it in YouTube's algorithm and helps make sure more people get this information and these laughs. Well, hopefully y'all be laughing. I'll be laughing when I be recording the videos. I don't know, but all the other people in here just be quiet. But I think that's probably out of respect more than anything.
You don't find that suspicious?
Another way you can help the channel is by coming to the premieres. You know, I premiere all of my videos and I'm there in the chat along with the Mod Squad. So come help and enjoy all this goodness with everybody else. Kick your feet up, take your shoes off. Actually, don't do that. Actually, don't do that. No, because I be premiering my videos early in the day and it'd be too early for corn chips.
Brother,
Keep your shoes on, but come bring your positive attitude and spirit and join with the rest of the class. And make sure you turn on your notifications so you know exactly when those premieres go down. But I would like to thank you all for your support up to this point.